we think how we see reality, that is reality.
Right. Right.
Because it's just what our eyes, the capacity that we have, what our eyes have the capacity to see.
Right. That's right.
Right. So you think about
That's right.
how you could, depending on how the light hits you, how big you get, right?
Right.
Your shadow gets.
Mm-hmm.
So it tells me that we think that it could just be because of the way the sun is hitting us, but what the sun is doing is reflecting what's really there.
It's showing you what's there.
Really there.
That's right. So
just very,
imagine
very
if you had the power to walk into that shadow.
What do you mean walking?
That's right. The power to walk into the shadow.
Walk into how big you really are.
Walk into how big you really are, because every day it walks into you. Imagine if you can reverse that.
Okay.
Right.
If you could walk into who you really are.
Who you really are.
So basically, that's another conversation I want to have too. Basically, we're really giants.
That's right.
We're much bigger than we think we are.
That's right. But it had to kind of neutralize us so that we can be more controlled. Because there was a time in history where we were out of control.
Well,
we were giants, and we had
now.
the power of the giants.
Mm.
And we were running rapid. Because the giants enjoyed what the beauties and the wonders that was here on this planet. So they had to put in a control mechanism.
Okay.
Right. So
very interesting.
So they had to blind you, bring you down, disconnect the communication until you evolve to the level to where you can reconnect the communication.
Wow.
And then you can grow back into your who you are and your true strength.
Wow.
True strength of being and having the power to accomplish that.
It's interesting because you look at a lot of the wisdom traditions, they talk about that, right?
You have to have the power and the confirmations in order for you to walk into your true self.
Well, I just wanted to kind of recap what you said about we were running rampant, and because you look at some of the traditions, they talk about that. Like, for example, in the Book of Enoch, you talk about the Watchers, right? And of course, in the scriptures, they talk about I don't remember what they were calling.
They called
the giants.
They called giants. They were called guardian angels. They were called all these.
Right, but that's just I just thought that was very interesting in terms of you saying how we were running rampant.
That's right.
Just very, very interesting.
That's right. But I'll tell you this. Sometimes you say, I wish I didn't have to endure this, or I wish I didn't have to deal with that. I wish that I can communicate and become this, because I see who I am and how my life is supposed to be in the future, but I just can't seem to get there.
And I think it's interesting because I think a lot of us live with this whole we know what we're capable of, right?
Right.
We know our greatness. You know you're bigger than than the experiences that you're having. But a lot of us just don't know how to tap into it, and so we don't know how to tap into who we really know that we are.
We know who we are. It's just difficult becoming evolving into that.
Are we forgotten?
No, we haven't forgotten, because you're always having dreams. You're always having thoughts. You're always having epiphanies.
Right.
You're always having moments of remembering.
Right.
Because it keeps on pushing the button. Remember who you are. Remember what you're supposed to do. Remember this.
Right.
Remember. But you see, then we allow our ego to begin to satisfy that need. Right. And the ego cannot fulfill your purpose.
Okay.
Only the power of the unknown can fulfill that purpose. And the way that it's fulfilling that purpose is by telling you your specific individual steps you need to move in ways in order to become that.
Right.
When we have these thoughts about what we want to accomplish, then it's our ego that will create the tools in which to become that.
Right. And see, but what happens though, I think because the ego has a purpose too.
That's right.
And it's a guard too.
That's right.
But because we get caught up into that aspect of ourselves, then we lose touch with the other aspects of ourselves, and that begins to take over. But we're gonna have a whole conversation about that.
Because it's imbalanced. You have to have a equal balance.
But I think
in all the areas or vibrations in which we exist in.
Right.
Everything is balanced. So when something's off balance.
But what happens is though, go on. Yeah.
When things are off balance, they have end dates. They will expire. Right. When you're in balance, there is no expiration date. It goes on and on and on. It just continues to grow and evolve.
Right. But I think so I'm glad we're having this conversation because because we live in a culture that has us grasping for all these things external to ourselves,
Right.
and not looking at how great we are within ourselves.
That's right. That's right.
And so we've lost touch, and so we're always grasping at these things outside of ourselves, and that's when all the other things creates the imbalance.
That's right.
Because we're looking at all these external things. And
Because we forgot that greatness has many variations. People think greatness only looks like this. So they're striving to look like this, that's in balance for them, because that's not what their greatness category is.
Right. And so what it is, because of all the pull from consumer capitalism. That's
right.
It's pulling us in all these directions because people are trying to make money.
To be like this.
Right. To be like that, and that's not who you
That's
are.
not
Your greatness
who you are.
is
It's something else.
Right.
That's equally as great.
Great. Exactly.
Because what makes a great man or a great woman or a great person is someone who is solid and consistent and reliable and is
trustworthy
and
trustworthy
all those things.
Right. Good moral character.
And all those things in which they're confronted with in their specific personal journey.
Right.
See, whatever those things are, you have to be true to that.
Right.
In the best manner in which you can. And just being anybody in any profession, they will always be seen as a light of a great, powerful person.
Right, because you're good at what you do.
Because he's trustworthy, he's true, he's genuine.
And you're true to who you are versus trying to be all these other things that's pulling at you and telling you this is what you need to do to be great.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. So that's the truth that's behind the stimulation that's inside the book that we're trying to expose.
Right.
To be open and allow your mind to see the proof, and have the experiences as proof, receive the confirmations as proof, and then follow these things along the way to become that better you.
Right, and so that's what I think is the good thing about the messages to the true descendants, because it really is trying to
open that
doorway
it's
for
a
us to get an understanding about who you really are.
Who you really are. Because it's about accomplishing the goals of
you as a human.
Of the dreams or the visions that you hold inside yourself of who you are.
Right.
You know who you are. You know the dreams you have. You know the thoughts that you have about who you are and who you will become.
Right.
It's the steps in the process where you fall short.
Right.
Right. That's where you fall short. You fall short in the steps of the process. But I'm gonna say we can,
continue. We're gonna continue because we have a lot more messages.
That's right. But the thing of it is be open to understanding that everyone's thoughts are very different. The thoughts about what we're speaking on is very different probably than the thoughts that you may have.
Right.
So for you to follow these thoughts, to even allow them into your reality, be aware that we're aware of that.
Right.
But it has to begin somewhere.
Right.
And someday, there's a day in your life that things have to begin to shift.
Right. Exactly.
So let that be today.
Yeah.
Messages to the true descendants.
But I wanted to wrap it back around to the
Sure,
shadow.
wrap it around.
Back to the shadow. So you just make sure we know that you do have a protector that comes with you, but you just have to be open. Your mind, your body, your mind and spirit has
to see it,
open
to see it,
right,
to hear it, and to know you have 100% control of it. It's not a scary ghost.
This is Universal Consciousness, where we bring truth to light to promote health, love, life, and consciousness.
That's right. That's right. So, listen. Okay. Cut. No,